When a loved one passes on, do they use electronics to speak with us? Hear me out. So this says here, Charles Peck died on impact in a train collision in 2008. Mysteriously, his loved ones received 35 calls from his phone after he crashed, only to hear static on the other. Wait, Michelle, that's just a coincidence. It's because his phone was damaged during the wreck, and that's why he called so many different people. But wait, there's more. So I started going down this thread, but if you guys remember, I told a story of when my sister was unalived to her husband, and then he unalived himself. My mother received a call from him a little bit after it happened. This is before we knew he was unalived, because he took off and we didn't know where he went. But later on, we figured out he did it the same night. But my mom had got a call, and she said it sounded like a lot of distortion, kind of demonic a little bit, but she could tell it was his voice. So anyways, I was going down the thread and I was looking, and this is what I saw. I got a call twice from my dad's phone number after he died. He was there. No one was there, but I called back. It was disconnected. So that's one. Another one said, I got calls like that when my ex died too. Not right when it happened, but for weeks after. Always just static, but if I called back, the number didn't work anymore. After burying my mom, we had a lot of company and the phone rang. When I picked it up, it was my mom moaning and lots of static. After she hung up, her picture fell off the wall, and it never fell before. I was pale, as I told my sisters. I got an empty email from my dad's email. He never used his Gmail. Email was sent from his phone on one day after his birthday. Nobody uses his phone, and he was dead 1 year before the email. But I asked him for a sign, and he gave me 3 digital signs. My grandmother's phone called my dad with static the following day after she passed. Strange. My husband and his brothers played video games through Stream on the computer. He passed away in a car accident, and the same night my husband and I were going to bed, my husband's Stream notification went off, and it was a message from his brother. He opened the message, and there was nothing there. I still get chills thinking about it till this day. My husband called me after he died, and all I heard was static. He was letting me know he was okay. My dad tried to call us after his funeral. 6 people in the room witnessed the calls. My dad called me somehow after he passed, static in his voice. 20 years ago, never forgot it. It was real. I worked at a place in the 90s that had a pool that had been shut down. The extension was still in our work directory. A man took his life near the pool, and shortly thereafter, there was a static call from the pool extension to the unit, and the extension stayed on our phone for days. I think it was the year of 1997. You can explain it away, or remain open-minded to the possibilities of the supernatural realm. I got a text 2 days after my dad passed. It said crawl space home. I went to his house and found a crawl space under his bed, opened it, found a safe with $324 in cash and a letter that said, every time you asked for money, I told you no. Put it in this box. It's not that I didn't want to give it to you. I just knew you would appreciate it more now. I love you, son. One more thing, buy a fishing boat. Every time you go fishing, I'll be there with you. Love, Dad. Hope you weren't thinking he was going to get that fishing boat with that $324. True story. My wife got a call from her deceased mother's cell phone on Mother's Day, 3 years after my mother-in-law's had passed away. There was a static on the other end. We called it back after the call was over, and it was disconnected. I will never forget it. And I was standing right there as the call came through. My wife just lost all the color in her face. It was quite an experience. My dad called me in a dream. My first flip phone I had when I was 15. Caller ID said Dad. I knew he was dead when I answered it. He passed away when I was 5. The call was very static. He kept cutting in and out, but he told me how proud he was of me and my brothers. The next morning, my phone rang. First thing, it was my younger half-brother's guardian who was in foster care at the time. My father's son, who I had never met. I was searching for him my whole life. This man who was in his foster care's guardian's name was legit, my father's first and last name. I couldn't believe my ears. After the call, I was able to meet my brother for the first time. The synchronization of the dream when my father said to me, and waking up to the phone call from a man who, well, you get the gist. In the days before cell phones, my mom phoned my aunt, and they talked for quite a while. The next day, my aunt got a call to let them know that my mom had died 2 days before she got that call from her. My mom was on hospice care, and she had severe dementia before she died and wasn't speaking at the time. So she definitely got a call from the afterlife. And this also brings me to the story that they had on 911 dispatcher from this funeral home in the middle of the night had got a call, and it was just a bunch of static. At first she couldn't hear anything. She doesn't know. Then all of a sudden she started hearing inaudible voice, like it was a voice but you didn't know what they were saying. And then so she called back, no answer. Then she sent the cops to come out there, and the cops said it was locked up and no one had been there, like no sign of anybody ever being there. So to me, that just says, because people say back in the day when you have those old recorders and everything, nowadays it's not so much, but like old school recorders, you can communicate with the other side. And I really do believe that. Have you guys heard of Spirit Box and all that stuff? I do believe through certain frequencies that they are able to connect and communicate with us. But for that thread that I had put from Facebook, it had so many different, it had 25,000 comments. So of course I couldn't go through all of them, but I just thought it was just crazy how everyone had similar experiences, if not the same experience. And it makes you think, we really are just energy, and our energy doesn't go on. And so if a loved one may have something to say to you after they've passed, just be open. You never know, Well, you guys have a good day. Bye.